And I think pre-market, we've got to keep an eye on the NQ, as we said. I like the 120 chart for now, this box in here, and I think we've got some range trading to do. I think the most important thing for us today is not to assume that we know the direction it's going. We already know that the game was played overnight and took us down to obviously a new low. My primary target was the 34 to 32. Anything below that, I figured, based on this RTH chart, this 30 area, 29.5, it was perfect when it hit this. So I think this is the primary battle for now, is trying to hold support. They've wiped out all of these traders whose stops were hit. So those traders are now in a position to say, okay, what do I do now? Do I rebuy at this level or not? I like the short side for hitting the scalps, after a sell-off, but I'm not thinking plunge. We've already had the plunge. So I think today we need to be careful overthinking the short side, and I think you can play both ways, really. So pick one side, try to get a couple points out of it and get out of the way. I'm not sure it's the time to put on new positions. Anybody got taken out? Even though I do think we can bounce, I think we need this kind of market action. And from what I was looking at overnight, and I just like this neighborhood that we've come down to. I think it makes perfect sense because we've got gaps down here, now we've got gaps up here, and everybody's confused. So, looking at the numbers, I've got 34 as a major pivot now. And I think we've got range trading in between. So if you scalp short side, we already know that we have options expiration ended the other day. Those traders who had puts, obviously they expired, that was their insurance. You got to rebuy again. And this is a perfect time for the boys to work their magic and come back and make adjustments, because now really the time component, they've got plenty of time to make adjustments and get the premium decay. So I think that's part of the game that's going on as well. NQ has come back into its blue line. So, this has been a weaker sister. It's coming into its support. And we have no idea where we'll close today, but we certainly can see how it did find support back here initially and had a pretty good bounce. So right now, the 10-minute chart, 15-minute chart, they're in play. 30-minute, definitely is in play, trying to, in my belief, resolve this neighborhood right here, this 37 area supportive. That gets taken out, then we can come back down and retest below us into that, perhaps that 33 area. But I think for now, we cannot assume that this is just like shooting fish in a barrel. I think that would be a mistake. So I'm looking at it as range trading and probably going to have to hit and run a couple of times. And in my opinion, probably aggressive traders are going to use that 45, 46 area as resistance. And right now, we've rejected the double top, so that's what we had said at the time. If you're scalping short, tack a point or two on top of that 44 and just give it a whack and try to get back to the bottom here. So this is a good area for the market to actually come back to. And this is the profit-taking leg right now. So this is the very best time to be collecting some profits. If you came in like I did, I got up around 6. And it looked to me like we were coming back to test the high. So this is a good second opportunity, short side. And take profits right in here. Take something. Magnets right here. And now up to the gods. And there's a little skirmish right here. See, this will start to resolve already on bounces. Will people be hitting this? I think so. I think the first thing is, like I said, since we had a reversal in the trend, you've got to hit the bounce. And then assume that if you get lucky, it'll come back and test these lows in here. And I'm considering this, well, from the highs, we'd said on Friday, right? We had the big pivot above us. We said, anybody that's still holding long, nuts. But the game has continued forever. So on Friday, late Friday, we said, let's use 57 high. That never got broken. We said that's still resistance. And then let's take a look at that 55. On the last call on Friday I made was, 55 should not get above 55. So that's still our primary resistance. Right there was that little downtrend. At the time looked insignificant, and then here we are. So there were a lot of traders that were looking to hold on and squeeze higher, and then all of a sudden today we open up down in here. So in my opinion, most important thing we can do today is think smaller scalps, figure that, this is certainly our resistance for now. And if it gets above here on some kind of a jam, got to take your stop outs and try it again. So already, if you got up early and you had the intent to hit anything near the double top, this is where we want to put something in our pocket already. 30-minute chart, you can see it right here. So I'm not going to overthink things. I'm not going to try for, grand slam home runs. I think it's going to take time to resolve this area. And I think we're going to have to wait for our TH to, catch up. And as the day goes on, I want to tune into, the swings. Are we making higher highs? We've got a gap below us, gap above us. So we already know that, the setup is there. And I think over traders who just think one way will give up a lot of what they make. So hit bounces, and already I think, the first trade idea is, these traders got to get punished. They have to get punished. So they need to make decisions. Where am I going to take my medicine? And we already know the range that we're in. So this 29.5, 30 area, big support for now. And I'm feeling that there's a good possibility low is already in for the day. If not, then we can go to any low. But my guess is obviously that if we get to the 25 to 26 area, then, that'll be the next big support area. So it's funny how they do this right after option expiration. All I can say is, got to protect ourselves. And a reminder, not many people have participated in this action. This all happened late Friday. So everybody went home flat if they're smart. Position traders got clobbered, lost a lot. I mean, think about it, for the last 8 days, right? All this has been undone. I mean, all the stops have been hit, theoretically. Back to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody cackling about eight big days in a row, blah, 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 and here we are. Notice how we come under that just to shake out and knock out all those stops. So I think this is our primary range right now, from the low possibly in already right now, as we try to fight and resolve this issue above us. So keep that in mind today, that, the boys are very skillful at that. So we could still bounce all day long and still make a lower high. So don't just put on your one-way hat that this has got to go flying down here. That's my best advice today. So aggressive traders are using that 45 as stop. Simple as that, which we said pre-market. And I've got the angel back at the 32.5. So this makes perfect sense the way they've got this set up this morning. And there's big possibility everybody's going to overtrade. So for now, aggressive support 32s. And I think it'll be harder to just come smashing through here. Either way, anybody that's shorting, we said let's use that 45 area as our resistance for now, and if it gets above it on retest, don't forget, can come all the way back up here and retest that 49. So right now the biggie is 41. This is the primary right here. And you know that's really the first resistance zone. Got bought and took that out, and then came back to test the second breakdown area. And then anything that swings later, including a day or two from now, can get back up and retest these breakdown areas. Okay, we're going to open in a couple of minutes. If you have already made something on this leg down, make sure you lock something up. And it could be a fairly choppy open as the big boys try to establish positions. Keep an eye on NQ today. And the other thing I would keep an eye on, obviously, is the XLF. Trannies and the Dow, if you guys trade the Dow, you know, I'd keep an eye on things like Google. But most of all today, think hit and run. And obviously the trend has reversed from Friday, but the big trend is still up. So this is a profit-taking sequence, and the best time to see it is right after options expiration. So this is a smart move by the market. Kept it where it wanted, killed all the put options, and then said, okay, now I'm going. You were right, but you were right too early.